some of the labor is considered to be higher value and some labor is considered to be lower value. So from a spiritual perspective, what do you think should be the basis of division of labor in the world?
Now the thing is, how do you divide labor really? Let's take the example of a Buddhist Sangh. There is the Buddha, there are his top monks, the senior fellows. He has to manage. Do you want to have the Buddha do menial tasks? And I'm saying menial from the point of view of if you make him broom the floor or sweep the kitchen. If you say the Buddha must go and cook, it's a wastage, and it's a wastage to the entire world. The kitchen would be of no use to the Buddha. The kitchen proved to be of great use to Tilopa. What is the kind of work that would benefit a person depending on his state of consciousness? Just as he was not gaining anything by continuing to be a prince, so he left the palace. Similarly, he is not gaining anything by being a cook. So he ought to...
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So, in the caste system, we had basically the defense that comes up is that the division of labor was on the basis of birth, and this was the intention. So, I just got me thinking that obviously division of labor on the basis of birth is reprehensible, because that would also imply that the fruits of that labor, and some of the labor is considered to be higher value and some labor is considered to be lower value. So the fruit of that labor will go to that particular person who is from a particular family. Then comes the capitalist system, where they say that who gets to decide or divide labor? It is the person who owns the factors of production, which is the capitalist. So that person decides who does what, and the decision is obviously on the basis of profit or maximum productivity, to be able to milk the resource as much as possible without any consideration to the resource, including the labor. Then there's Marx, who says that from each according to his ability, to each according to his need, which was like a protest against the capitalist system, which said that the fruits only go to the person who is maximum capable of producing that thing. So Marx said that while everybody works, the fruits are divided on the basis of need. So from a spiritual perspective, what do you think should be the basis of division of labor in the world?
You have to work at a point where you really are situated internally. For example, let's take the example of a Buddhist Sangh. There is the Buddha, there are his top monks, the senior fellows, and it's a huge Sangh. It had already become quite expensive in his lifetime. And so all kinds of things are happening. And a variety, great diversity of functions have to be performed. Also at some point he had admitted women. So that angle too has to be managed. There too a train of leadership has to be developed. And also sometimes a separate set of policies. So all that he has to manage. Now the thing is, how do you divide labor really? Do you want to have the Buddha do menial tasks? And I'm saying menial from the point of view of consciousness. How will he be able to really do something that would help and uplift entire North India in his lifetime, and later on so much of Asia, if he is made to, for example, think of so many places, and that would not be beneficial to him if you make him broom the floor, right? Or sweep the kitchen. If you say the Buddha must go and cook, it's a wastage, and it's a wastage to the entire world. The Buddha in his humility might even just agree. He might say, fine, I was anyway never too eager to even discourse for the first time. You all came and persuaded me. So if I am to be silent and confine myself to the kitchen, I am okay with it. The Buddha would go and start cooking, and I hope he would be a great cook. But what about the world? It's the world's loss. It's a cumulative loss. And the Buddha too, in a personal sense, if at all anything remains of his personhood, does not gain anything. Just as he was not gaining anything by continuing to be a prince. So he left the palace. Similarly, he is not gaining anything by being a cook. So he ought to leave the kitchen. He must be stationed at a kind of job that befits the level of his consciousness. Equally, you have stories where, have you heard of Tilopa? So legend has it, nobody knows for good, it's not a historical fact, but there must be some truth to it. So it's said that he went to his, and this is in the lineage of the Buddha, right? Several centuries after the Buddha. This is coming from Tibetan Buddhism. So this fellow goes to the teacher, the top monk, and says, please you give me some work to do. And not that he was a total newbie, he was a learned Brahmin. He was already a scholar who had come to a Buddhist guru now. So he goes to him and says, I have come to you now and I want to learn. Please tell me what to do. The guru was already quite old. So the guru tells him, you go and you occupy yourself in the kitchen. And in the kitchen, you busy yourself with working on the til. What do you call til as in English?
Sesame.
Sesame. So you work on that. Maybe he was working on extracting some oil from the seeds or something. Whatever the work was, he started working on that. And the guru, being quite old and also probably, old people do get demented. Guru forgot. Totally forgot. And this fellow just kept himself to the kitchen for 11 long years. It is said, it might have been 11 months. Exaggeration is almost a literary form that you often see in the scriptures. So never take anything on face value. If you read 11 years, that might mean 11 months or 11 weeks. But even 11 months is long, right, for a scholar. This fellow is already a scholar from North India and he is going all the way to Tibet to learn, and he is being told to work in the kitchen. But very dutifully he said, fine, if the guru has said work in the kitchen, I'll work in the kitchen. So he works in the kitchen. And 11 years later, when the guru is about to depart, the guru says, whosoever among my disciples can come and tell me one pithy line, who can capture everything in just a few words, shall be my successor. And so people come up and they all wax all eloquent and come up with great scholarly and erudite lines. Finally, the one who comes up with a great line is something like this. I don't exactly remember, but the line says something like, the world is an illusion and the world is your own mirror or something, typical lines. This is Buddhist non-duality. Just as you have Advait in Vedant, there is a Buddhist non-duality as well. So this is all that. And this Buddhist non-duality is at the core of Buddhism. Very similar to the Vedantic non-duality, actually indifferent from that. So everybody there in the monastery thinks that the successor has been found. What great lines this fellow has written, see? So finally, nobody remains who hasn't tried. And Tilopa is busy in his kitchen. His name itself has become Tilopa because he was busy with the till. Finally, he comes and he sees what is written, and it was on the wall probably or something. So he goes there and he wipes it clean and stands there. And the Guru smiles and says this and departs. He had totally effaced himself. Totally removed himself, finished himself off. So he said, whatever you write consists something of you. My only learning is that nothing remains, so even this has to go. Because if some words remain, some part of the ego remains. I have nothing to say. That nothingness is the real thing. And the Guru said, only this one has really learnt what was there to be taught. All the others have principles and concepts. This one has really understood. Really understood. And all he did was he went there and he looked at it and said, what nonsense, remove it. And he stood and said, nothing. So, even something as routine, as mechanical, and as lifeless, as grounding seeds in the kitchen, can be of great help provided you are the one who needs help at that station. Just as we said, the kitchen would be of no use to the Buddha. The kitchen proved to be of great use to Tilopa. That's how division of labor has to happen. You have to figure out what is the kind of work that would benefit a person depending on his state of consciousness. Just as it is a shame to appoint a Buddha to the kitchen, it's an equal shame to appoint someone who doesn't deserve it to a position of great freedom. Because internally, if you are still enslaved, and enslaved we are all born, aren't we? Internally you are still enslaved, and outwardly in your job you are given great freedom and authority. It would prove devastating not only to others but also to yourself. So that's how division of labor must happen. Division of labor is simply contingent on the station of consciousness. Figure out where does the person stand internally, and accordingly let him work. That would be of value to him and to the entire world. He would rise, the entire world would rise.